Hey, it's the Chief Bonding with Board Games and RPGs. We are back with the Blade Runner role-playing game from Free League. And what we're going to be doing is running a mystery, basically, with my character, Hack. Now, you can go back in the playlist under the Blade Runner role-playing game and you can see character creation. But part of what I'm going to be using is using the Mythic system, which I'm already using the fate charts and those things. Some of you are used to that if you've seen any of my Twilight 2000 stuff. But in the compilation magazine #1, drive-through review, link down below, there is a way to run mysteries. I'm going to have this here in case I need to reference it. I've done a couple mysteries in the past, but it's been a while. I will have a mystery matrix. I'm going to go ahead and flash the picture of this up on the screen now. And what you're seeing there is the mystery matrix title itself. The mystery we are dealing with is a retired Nexus 8 caught on camera in Shinjuku Alley in Little Tokyo. So that's where I'll be opening the scene in just a moment, but looking at the sheet, you will see there's rectangular boxes around the perimeter, kind of like a little racetrack that goes all the way around. And there's already one clue. Those will be the clues. The suspects are in that center area with those 2 rows. The only clue I have is a photo of a Nexus 8 that was supposed to have been retired that has shown up in this alley in Little Tokyo. And I've got the name of this Nexus 8. I just created it off camera. His name is Tyson Flynn. So we know that Hack is in this, he's kind of got a dual job going on. He's very senior Blade Runner. He's been around for 20 years. He's getting a little long in the tooth. He's getting a little old. His strength isn't there, but his skills as an investigator are probably at their peak. He's got a little side gig going with corporate. We haven't fleshed that all out yet. He is in a corporate district, a housing district, I believe. Again, we haven't got his full location of his building in downtown. I'll need to do that at some point in time, probably off camera. But we know he's basically also being housed in a top, just 1 floor below, like a corporate high-level suite. He's both some kind of insurance for this CEO, protection, and the quid pro quo is that he's able to live in very nice digs. So he's got great housing. This is a fairly new situation. We actually have to deal with this probably in the downtime, which is created in this. You play through your downtime as well. There's 4 shifts. We'll be playing through those, and he can be pulled in multiple directions. But as this scene opens up, he's receiving I picture a video call from his lieutenant. I want to know, male or female? Male will be 4, 5, or 6. Ooh, female. So he's got a female lieutenant, and some of these details we will, again, flesh out later. So a female lieutenant has basically pinged him, come up on the monitor call that you're used to seeing in the original Blade Runner, maybe a little bit improved text since then, and telling him, Hack, we've got something we need you to follow up on. I'm including a packet with a photo of a Nexus 8 that is supposed to have been terminated. Nope. That is supposed to have been retired. But he's just shown up on a security photo camera down in Little Tokyo in Shinjuku Alley. I think the lieutenant is a little bit miffed by my digs. She says, if you're willing to step outside your opulence, and you can see her kind of looking around because she can see I'm living much better than she is, and go follow up on this, I would appreciate it. And there's that smile that's more like a grimace that comes in. And she cuts the feed. There's no bye. There's no see ya. There's no nice to have you around. It's you've got a case, and it's this Nexus 8. So a couple keystrokes, I pull it up, I've got a photo of this Nexus 8, and I also see his name is Tyson Flynn. The camera shot I see is in what's clearly, I'm going to throw up a photo here, Shinjuku Alley. And in that photo, I'm able to enhance a couple times, enhance, and get a good profile shot of Tyson. Now, I'm curious, before I even leave, I want to know randomly what, so I know he's captured on camera, but why? This is inside LA. This is a Nexus 8. The Nexus 8s have all gone underground. They're responsible, there's actually a whole section in here on them. They're responsible for all the mainframe basically dumping, losing power, being wiped out, and then they all went underground. Now it's known that there's Nexus 8s kind of all through LA, and some of the new Nexus 9s are hunting them down as well, but they're now all off the books. So this individual is identified by photo and has reportedly been retired by another Blade Runner, which is intriguing in and of itself and going to be part of the problem. But I want to know what in the world brings Tyson to a point where he is captured on a camera that shows his face, because I can't imagine he would somehow show up like that. So I want to know, I'm going to go over to event, action, and subject and just try to come up with what's the situation in this alley. What is going on? 49, harm, so harm, and 12, opposition. All right, so harm and opposition, I don't know to what. I can roll on this table up to 3 times. I'm just looking for what would make sense. 90 even, failure, okay. Failure and 60 even, failure and misfortune. And I'm going to go ahead and roll one more time, and then I'll try to piece together what was going on when this photo was taken. What is the situation? 92 is vengeance. Interesting. So vengeance, and 32 is plans. So harm and opposition, failure and misfortune. Vengeance plus plans. All right, well, all 3 of these, harm plus opposition, failure plus misfortune, vengeance plus plans, I believe that there's at least, we don't know the details here, but it looks as if, for the reports also in my packet of information with the photo, is that there was some attack, and that it was clear that Tyson Flynn was the focus of the attack and was fleeing the area in what looks like some kind of ambush attack. And in the midst of this, he clearly not only was drawing a lot of attention, but had to flee in a way that he's not caring, obviously, if he shows up on certain cameras. It looks like even he had some type of like scarf type thing that had covered his face, but in the midst of this chaos, you can see that hanging down around his shoulder, thus exposing his face, and the shot is taken. So my hack is seeing this and thinking some kind of hit, some kind of payback, something is afoot. And so the very first thing I have to do now in my matrix is, what am I going to do to follow up on this mystery? I know Hack is going to go to the scene. He's old school, and get physical eyes on and see either what he can discover or what the clues are. So my first scene, and I'm tracking scenes through the Mythic system, my first scene setup is inspect Shinjuku Alley for other evidence. And that's a great place to start. Really, it's the only place to start that I can even think of as someone with some investigatory experience is the scene of the crime. We know he was there. He was caught on camera there. The only question I now have under the Mythic system is I have to roll and see if I have an interrupt scene or not. So my chaos factor to start off with is 5. If I get a 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1, it's a 2. So that is even. So on an even, it's an interrupted scene. So before I can get to Shinjuku Alley, something changes the expected scene. What would that be? Okay, so I'm going to be taking my vehicle over there. Let's see what it is. Let's just do one roll on action and subject. We have 7. So we have violate and 87. Violate magic. All right, now obviously there's no magic, but what would that be in my sci-fi world? I would think that would be some kind of, cool tech. So what would violate magic? Oh, all right. Well, it's going to be something with my spinner. So I've got a detective spinner, and that is definitely magic, a flying car. So something is violating my, what is this going to be? I'm going to ask a yes/no question. So something with my spinner. So yes/no question. Okay. Sabotage. Is it sabotage to my spinner? And I would think this is actually probably somewhat unlikely, quite honestly, just because who wants to mess with a Blade Runner's vehicle? But chaos factor 5, that's a 35 or less. Ooh, it's a 28. So yes, there's some kind of sabotage. Okay, a yes/no question. I'm airborne. Is the spinner basically lose power and it's coming down uncontrollably? And I'm going to go 50-50. We know somebody sabotaged it. What else would they sabotage? It working. So 50-50, chaos factor 5 is, 11. This is where I've got, my eyes are terrible. 10 would have been an extreme yes. Okay, so that's it. I'm getting ready to head over to Shinjuku Alley, and Hack gets inside his detective skimmer, and I'm imagining, since he's in real nice digs, that his skimmer's actually on the roof. He's not far from the roof. The whole idea that the wealthy live high, 100 floors and above, that he is already at some pretty nice altitude. It's not like he's just lifting up from the floor, or from the street. He's at building level, and the only thing I can imagine is that he's actually cleared the roof when he starts to lose power. Wow, that's crazy. All right, so here's some interesting things under the detective special amenities for the detective spinner. And I'll put the photo of this up on the screen here. LAPD exclusive tech package, restricted biolock access to authorized operators only. So it's got GPS tracker, interior bioscanner panel, and encrypted uplink, mainframe private LAPD comm network. Interesting. So it's got the full law enforcement package, siren, Esper 360 camera array, OmniVision enabled, head, rear, undercarriage, and flood lamps, state-of-the-art tactical defense. Optional tactical armaments included. I don't know if he's got these guns on there. We'd have to look at that later. Full anonymity with matte black chassis and no identification, precinct badges, sirens, or detailing. What's interesting, though, is failure's got to be pretty darn weird with this. I can't imagine it happening. All right. So first of all, altitude's tracked. I'm extremely high, and I believe there's got to be some things I'm going to try to recover. The, restarting the engines, something. But if I crash, if a spinner is wrecked, it crashes violently to the ground. All people inside suffer D3 points of falling damage, plus 1 for each zone of altitude, which is going to be a lot. So this could be terrible. Mitigated by the vehicle's armor rating, you can also brace yourself for the hit by rolling mobility. There's repairs and altitude. So critical vehicle damage. I want to see if there's something that causes it to... Engine disabled. The engine is disabled and the vehicle can't continue. A spinner can make a controlled landing, losing 1 zone of altitude per round. Well, that's definitely what I need to do. I'm not 100% sure. My mobility of my detective spinner is B. So a 10-sided die, and I've got lots of altitude. So we know at least 100 floors. I was above that. I'm going to ask yes or no question, and I think it's a near sure thing that I'm at like 200 floors at least. I need a 95 or better. Yeah, 13. So that's an extreme yes. So per floor, it's 20 levels of altitude for me to try to use mobility in order to put the spinner down safely. So even with the engines out, I think there's still probably some safe modes of being able to get lift, although I'm no expert on spinners. I think the very first thing I'm going to try before mobility is I'm going to try what would be a restart of the engines. I don't know what caused them to fail. This could just be random, but I don't think so. So I'm going to go with that it's unlikely that the restart is going to work. So I'm at a chaos factor of 5. That means I need a 35 or less on this restart. So as I'm starting into this free fall engine fail, I'm not panicking. And I may even check, is there under my intelligence, observation, tech, you know what? Before I roll on a yes or no, is it unlikely? I think using my tech, I think I'm working the screen, and I'm going to try a tech roll for this. So I have both my intelligence, which is going to give me a 12-sided die, and tech is also a B. So I'm going to have a 10 and a 12, and I want to do a tech roll to see if I'm basically, even if somebody's messed with it, with that much distance and some of the controlled fall that I'm in, I might be able to get in and get a restart and basically get these engines fired up. In which case, I'm not going to roll yes or no yet. I need 6s, and if I get doubles, it's even better. Ooh, no, a 5 and a 4. Now I can push this. This is a tech roll. Well, yeah, I'm clearly going to push this. The problem would be if I get 1s, I'm going to end up taking some resolve hits. But that's right, I'm pushing a 5 or a 4. This is a hard push. Ooh, yeah, we got a 6 and an 8. Excellent, excellent. So I'm pulled up. I don't know how you drive a spinner. I'm picturing like a shifter or something. I've cleared out over. I'm 200 floors up, and I'm just starting to head towards Shinjuku Valley, and I start the free fall, and I'm like, I imagine tons of expletives coming out, like, oh, crud. But I'm 20 plus years on, tech is good. I immediately start keying in as I'm even trying to control some descent, and I'm trying a restart, and nothing. And I'm coming in lower, and this is looking like it's going to be a tragic crash with this vehicle. And as I push a little bit harder, no fails here, I completely bypass what definitely looks to be suspicious. No time to look into that now. I am going to make a note that there is some type of suspicious program on my that I've seen on the computer, and that needs to be looked into at some point. But I like that. So that's something else that's going to be a problem. I'm going to have to put that on my sheet, but I'm able to, and I do a full restart, and as I'm probably lost 10 floors. So I'm coming down low when I get a full restart and engine lift. So I don't need to roll here. I've done my roll to come through with a double success. So not only did I succeed with one, but that's why I'm saying that I've also found some type of suspicious programming that I might be able to track back on and see, you know, what's the telltales on this. But yeah, okay. So I've gained altitude, and now that I'm flying, I seem unperturbed, unflappable. But I code in a message to, I'm imagining there's, ooh, I like this. While en route, I want to use now, so I've regained full control of the vehicle by using my connections, which I'm very good on, or good with. I have a B, which means a 10-sided die. What do I have under empathy is a C for an 8-sided die. I immediately code in a call to, well, let me get a name. Ooh, I like it. Timo. So Timo, ooh, let me put him on my sheet here. Timo is lead mechanic. So I've got him on a character sheet. We'll see whatever's going on here. I'm going to add a thread. I know I should do this later, but if I don't do it now, I'll forget. Somebody hacked my spinner. So we're going to have to take a look at that at one point in time. On this, we also have Shinjuku Alley. Shinjuku Alley. All right, 2 threads. So I get hold of Timo, and or I'm going to try to use my connections to get a hold of Timo, I should say. All right, so I'm going to use my connections, hopefully, to get a hold of Timo. Oh, come on, 2 2s. So I'm calling in, and somebody picks up at wherever our central maintenance facility, or CMF, and I'm like, hey, I need to talk to Timo, and I get Timo's busy. I'm going to push this and see if I can get him on. Perfect. Look at this, another 6 and 8. So I don't know who I'm talking to, but I go, trust me. If you don't get old TT Timo on the phone, he's going to be pissed at you. And all you hear is, fine. And I can hear, it would almost be the equivalent, which they don't have anymore, of you used to be able to hear when a phone was put down on a counter. I don't know why I'd be hearing this. Maybe they've got an old mechanic's phone that you pick up. I don't know why, but I'm picturing it being set down. Who knows? Next thing you know, Timo is up on, why wouldn't it be video screen? I don't know. Okay, but it's just audio. I can hear just Timo coming over my speakers and my spinner. And I hear Timo, Hack, long time no see. Why don't you just spin by for some routine maintenance? We can have a little bit of coffee. And I think, well, I know Hack's like, Timo, I'm lifting off 200 floors up, and I lost full power. He's like, no, you can't. He goes, trust me, I did. He goes, you should be splattered all over the floor, all over the street. And he says, yeah, I was able to get in and do a restart, but just looking at it, somebody's messed with my system. And Timo says, there's no way, Hack, no way. And he goes, hey, when I'm done and get a chance, I'll come by. I want you to take a look at it. But something's afoot. And Timo's like, got it. Whenever you're able to come on by, swing in. I'll personally, there's the connection, put it up on the rack. I don't know if you got a rack. think you'd have a rack. I'll put it up on the rack. So what I do need to do in a future scene at some point is go see Timo for Spinner Diagnostic. Then I think Timo says, hey, in the meantime, Hack, I can take a look at some of your systems remotely. And he says, on it, and drops the connection. So that's working in the background. Whew. Okay, that was an interesting interrupt scene. And that is where Mythic is amazing. So who would have thought I'm automatically losing power and having to figure out how a spinner falls? I did not know.